I had just had my daughter, and I also had just lost my job at the time, and I felt like going into the store and shoplifting was the way I was going to provide clothing for her and for myself at that time.
I got in a fight with my uncle, so I was charged with 2 charges, one of vandalism and one of battery on a person.
I was working in the children's department, and my sister and her boyfriend came in, with a bunch of clothes, and they asked me to change the prices because they only had $20 with them.
At the time, I was upset and I was sad and I was worried about my child and everything like that. Mostly a lot of disappointment and anger.
And his police car was right in front of the store where everybody could see it. I felt so embarrassed. I'm pretty sure all my coworkers saw.
I got kicked out from my house with my sisters. My sisters kicked me out. They put my stuff in bags and they just set them outside.
And then he put me behind the car, and it was really how you see, I'm like, oh my God, I'm a criminal. It felt so bad. I don't know, I hate talking about it. It was scary.
I ended up getting stopped by one of the employees, and I ended up being arrested out of the situation, and I went to court, and the courts referred me to this program.
Who this group is that we're working with are misdemeanors. They usually have committed more than one misdemeanor. They're usually between the ages of 18 and 25. So they're not diversion. So they don't really there's no program for them. If they were juveniles, if they were 17 and under, they would be part of the juvenile justice system, which has some restorative, some rehabilitative aspects of it. But now they're in the adult criminal system, which is primarily punitive. However, because they haven't committed a felony, they don't get a probation officer that could help guide them through, through getting their lives better. They really don't have any help at all, and the judges have very few alternatives for them except to give them a time incarceration. The average, according to the Upstream's report, is 13 days in jail.
If you deal with people that are between 18, 25, and you give them an opportunity to grow, to get cleaned up, to make amends with people that they've hurt, to reintegrate themselves with their family if they have one around, then you can bridge that gap between 18 and you can bridge that early adult gap and get to the point where people just kind of tend to stay out of trouble.
When a young adult is referred to our program, they go through an intake process with me where I determine where they're at, if they've taken responsibility for their actions, and who all needs to be involved to help them get to a better place. And then when I have the restorative conference, we bring together everyone that was involved in that incident along with community members, and we really talk about not only how to make things right for the situation at hand, but how to make things right for them in their own lives and what they might need to both put this incident behind them in a good way and move forward and get on a better path.
When a young adult commits a crime and they're not heard. They're not heard, they are processed. When they have a chance to be heard and explain to the community of why they did this, sometimes out of desperation. And we hear that as a community, and then we share back to them how that crime impacted the community. And they hear that from us, from the community. It really makes them realize that they've really made an error.
And if they're wanting to really come to terms with what led to the offense, it really does mean needing extra support to be able to work through that. That's really hard for young people who are still getting their footing.
They have that opportunity to make amends to the people whom they've harmed or to the people they've had impacted. And when they do that, they're able to let go of that shame that they were carrying after committing the crime or committing a mistake and move on with their lives.
They made me feel like if I wasn't alone, you know, that there was help. There's help out there, you know? And I just felt like a huge pound off my chest.
They were able to help me to process with why I had done the things that I had done. And that was really helpful to think about the things instead of just pushing them away like I had over the years, just not thinking about it. And so bringing it up, it was emotional, but it was a good thing. I was able to really deal with the things that I had put away.
And I was able to open up, and something that I hadn't done before, you know, with anybody, and I felt like I got all my anger and my like sadness out, you know, and I felt very, very comfortable speaking with you guys and being open.
A day in jail cost $147 according to the Upstreams report. And so 13 days in jail is what, like $1,900? The average or cost of arrest for a misdemeanor is $3,500. Our program cost about $600. So we're saving money. And the program includes case management and includes volunteer management. So in addition to all of the good, you know, the side effects, the good things about the programs, they save money.
In all the years that I had been working in the juvenile justice system and the criminal justice system, restorative justice was the only thing that I saw that really had a chance of working for all the participants to experience some kind of positive outcome. These
are the people that have fallen through the cracks. It's nobody's fault that this has happened. You know, this is the way our justice system works right now. But we as citizens, as taxpayers, as Sonoma County people, we need to take care of this problem. We need to help these folks. We need to help them become contributing members of our community.
That it's important that they're part of the community, that unless they succeed, the community's not going to succeed.
Getting the word out that, you know, there may be a better way, and take a close look, and we can save money, and our kids might be better served, and our community may be better served. Making that case is important, and I think that's what it's going to take.
I tell my boyfriend, like when I had my conference, I told him, I'm like, I feel so good. He looked at me, he's like, what are you talking about? Like, why are you like acting like this? I'm like, I feel good.
I felt too ashamed at that time in my life to try to ask for help. But now I know that for my daughter, it is the best thing I can do.
Luis, alcohol, and you do not get along, and you know what the consequences can be. Do not wait for the worst thing that could happen to you. Remember that when you drink, you don't just affect yourself, but the people who love you and care about you, as well as your community, your friends, your city. You are part of this community, and you also have to set an example for your peers. One person can change the world by starting with their community.
It was this huge thing that happened to me that after the conference, Jesse, like, I don't know, I felt like somebody different.